at the time when you were young and someone like Ric Flair is vouching for you, how did that feel? Were you, I mean, at the time you were young, so when I was that age, I would have been like cocky about it, but were you giddy about it? Did you know Ric Flair? Because he was obviously from the States. What was that like for you personally, knowing a legend like Ric Flair wanted you to come into WCW?
Well, that's funny.
Yeah.
This question. Well, it's a good question because, or it's not the question is funny, but I'm happy
Yeah.
you asked about that. In Germany, when I was young, you hardly couldn't see American wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It was like on TV very, very late because of the laws that kids weren't allowed to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like at night, at 12 at night or whatever. So I couldn't watch that. Plus, it wasn't not on the regular TV stations. So as a wrestling fan, you really had not that much of a chance to watch American wrestling. So I
Mm-hmm.
actually did not know Ric Flair, that he was a legend or whatever.
Yeah.
My dad said he had a big name, but my dad in the business, he didn't react like you would. He said, well, has a good name in the business. That's it.
Yeah.
And I was brought up by my dad in that business. I mean, I grew up on the road. So I met all those guys backstage like Vader, JBL, Landstorm, Finlay, Regal, Justin van der Liga. They were all normal to me.
Mm-hmm.
I have a different view than you have. I grew up
Mm-hmm.
in that business. So I met Scott Hall. I was 8 years old, and all kind of guys, and Chono, Japanese New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
They played around with me. So in my mind, they weren't stars. They were just colleagues of my dad. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I went to WCW, when they had a German tour over here, I knew WCW was a big deal because they're TV and all that stuff and big superstars, and they have international tours and stuff. So I was aware of my chance if it would come around, but I didn't know all the names. I just know, well, they're stars, but I didn't notice from each wrestler the status. But
Yeah.
yeah, Rick was a great guy.